How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Nick Sandmann settling his lawsuit against the Washington Post today, which is Friday, July 24th, 2020. And today just happens to be Nick Sandmann's 18th birthday. So happy birthday, sir. You definitely deserve this gift on your day because of what not only Washington Post, but also Communist News Network, CNN, and all these other alphabet letter organizations did to you. Now, before I go any further, I got to back up a little bit here to give you some context, just so we're on the same page with each other. Now, last year, I think it was in late January, Nick Sandmann went on a field trip to D.C. with his class from Covington Catholic High School in Kentucky. I think they're in the Cincinnati area, okay, because Ohio is like right there. But anyway, they came from Covington Catholic to Washington, D.C. for the March for Life. That's the anti-abortion march, if I'm right. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But you know, in D.C., if you've ever been there, there's always some kind of protest, always some rabble-rousers out there. And as they were leaving, they were waiting on the steps of the Capitol for the bus to come pick them up. And they're sitting there with MAGA hats on. So you got a bunch of white kids. They got MAGA hats. You're going to attract some of these, idiots out there that are protesting all the time or just happen to be in D.C. just shouting out stuff, okay? The first group was the Hebrew Israelites, okay? You ever seen these guys on YouTube or on the street corner in New York City? That's right, all this and that. Black guys with like really kind of crazy outfits on, thinking they're the real Jews. That's the whole Nick Cannon kerfuffle, but different story. I digress. My whole point is that they're out there reading from the Bible. They shouting at you, all kind of stuff. They were out there in D.C. doing that exact same street corner, shouting at you, harassing you stuff to the white kids. Like I said, they are mostly white. I think there might have been a couple black kids in the mix, but mostly white, MAGA hats on, easy target. All right. So they're shouting at them, calling them all kind of F words. The kids, they took it pretty well. They were engaging. Some were kind of laughing. It wasn't no real hurt feelings or nothing like that, but they were getting harassed. Okay. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing was you had this so-called native elder, might have been some of his friends that were with him. They came over while the Hebrew Israelites were harassing the kids. They probably saw white guys, MAGA hats. The one dude, Nathan Phillips, he's over there, beating the drum and everything else. He makes a beeline straight for the people, straight for the kids that were on the steps, and he gets like right in front of Nick Sandmann. Okay, he's beating his drum loud, singing all on his face, harassing them. Now, just that particular piece of the video was uploaded to Twitter. Okay, all you saw was Nick Sandmann, white kid, MAGA hat, 16 years old, by the way. He's like this, always smirking at I'm disrespectful, and native dudes just all on his face. So for that little exchange, for that little moment, Nick Sandmann was labeled as a white supremacist. He's trying to abuse his native elder. How dare he? Typical racist. This is Trump's America. It was all kind of crazy things that were said. Now, remember, you're talking about high school kids, 14, 15, 16, 17. Nick Sandmann was 16. He just turned 18 today. Okay. So in January of 2019, he was 16. They said, he has a punchable face, and, grown adults were harassing this man. Washington Post wrote an article. I'll place that on the screen before you. Nothing that you could say will excuse what they did. I think that was written after we had more context. I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter because all the major media outlets instantly just jumped on them, harassed them right away without having all of the information. It did not have the full video, which was out there. It was available. Like, all you had to do was just search for it a little bit. I think it was on Twitter the same time everything else was on Twitter, but all everybody focused on was this one little clip and thought that Nick Sandmann was harassing this man, but really it was the other way around. You're talking about a kid getting harassed by an adult. And after that clip went out, people just made assumptions about Nick Sandmann. There was more harassment that happened. Okay. You're talking about he was getting death threats to his house. They doxed him. And you had grown adults that showed up to his school in Kentucky, protesting him with signs, calling him white supremacists, all kind of just ridiculous things, right? Because of that one video. And the mainstream media amplified it by attacking this boy on camera, off camera, written, everything else. So it was like, okay, you know what? Y'all want to do that to me? How about I have my lawyers contact you? So the lawyers did this really ambitious campaign to sue everybody that was engaging in libel and slander and endangering Nick Sandmann and his parents, his classmates, everybody. So they sued a lot of different places. I think CNN got sued for like 800 million, and they settled earlier this year. Washington Post, you're talking about 250 million. They settled just recently. Now, I don't know the amount for CNN or Washington Post. You probably won't know the amount for anybody that gets sued. You know, that's part of the settlement. Don't say how much it was. If he gets 1%, just 1% of the 250 from Washington Post, you're talking about 2.5 million. If it's 10%, you're talking about 25 million. I think, just my humble opinion now, I have no facts. I'm just kind of, shooting in the dark. He probably got at least 10 million. All right. If you're suing for $250 million, you probably won't settle for 500,000 or some kind of small amount of money like that. Okay. You probably settling for 10 million or more, between 10 and 50, possibly more. But anyway, Nick Sandmann deserves every dollar amount of that, 1,000%. They turned this man's life upside down because of a thing he didn't even do. He was minding his own business, standing on the steps, waiting to get picked up by the bus. Here comes Hebrew Israelites, they're harassing him. Here comes so-called native elder, he's harassing them. And the whole time he's just minding his business, standing there, doing nothing. Matter of fact, in one of the clips where the native guy, all on his face with the drum, and Sandmann sitting there, one of Sandmann's classmates is trying to say something, and Sandmann was like, nah, don't do nothing, I'm good. Like the other kid was going to say something, maybe even get into the face of the guy, but he was like, nah, don't do nothing. So Nick Sandmann not only just sat there and literally did nothing, when others wanted to intervene and maybe even help out a little bit, he was like, nope, don't say nothing. Let's just stay here and do the right thing. He did the absolute right thing. You can't just harass people because they got a MAGA hat on because they're white. Okay, this lawsuit, in my humble opinion, will not just be to benefit Nick Sandmann financially. It'll be for other people to stop harassing people online. Okay, see, it's one thing we just got some kind of trolls or whatever calling you names. That's one thing. But when you got the Washington Post, writing articles about you, publishing things about you, damaging reputation, now you're getting into some legal stuff. Now you're getting into libel, slander, all kind of things like that. Okay, it's the same thing with every other station that published negative articles. They think because Nick Sandmann is white and he has on a MAGA hat that he's the enemy, they can do whatever they want to the enemy. No, you can't do whatever you want. Contrary to popular belief, we still live in America. We still have laws that apply to everyone. Okay, I have legal protections. I have legal rights. And so does a proverbial other side. All right. Washington Post, Clinton News Network, ABC, CBS, etc. They just kind of totally forgot about that when this whole thing popped. MS-13 DNC, they forgot about that. You can't just say whatever you want, do whatever you want. You got to have some integrity as a journalist. They threw all that away because of his appearance. Let it be a lesson to you. Well, there's a few lessons here. You cannot judge a book by its cover. You can't just think because somebody has a MAGA hat on that they're a racist, or because they're white, they're a racist. That's so silly to even think that. That's not how you really go about that. Talk to a person and figure out what's really going on. Okay. Also, if you see a clip online and looks kind of bad, ask for the context, ask if there's more clips to be seen, figure out what's really going on before you just go and say something. I get email constantly, all the time, every day, and I get stories that are kind of popping up in there that are kind of halfway complete. I'm like, man, should I run that? But then I look at it, I'm like, is that enough there? I don't have all the information. I can't really run it and be responsible. I'm a responsible person. I'm gonna have all my ducks in a row. I'll have all my facts straight before I put a story out there. That's just what you should be doing, especially if you are a large corporation like MS-13 DNC or the Comedy News Network or anybody like that. You should be doing that. And if you don't want to do your due diligence, you'll just pay financially and or with reputation. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that I'm correct about the mainstream media, old school media, big blue checks on Twitter, not really caring about being having integrity as a journalist, just putting stuff out there because, this is a white person, MAGA hat on, totally forgetting about, this is a high school kid. How old are they? Should I put it out there? They're a minor. accused of a thing. If somebody shoots somebody and they're 16 years old, you'll blur their picture out. But you wanted to verbally attack and call for people to attack Nick Sandmann because of what you thought was going on. You didn't even know what was happening. It's crazy. So somebody could kill somebody and get privacy and anonymity, but a video comes out where nobody got hurt and nobody said a word. At least Nick Sandmann didn't. You want to call him the next son of Satan? I mean, it's just crazy. So what's going to be the reaction to this? Will they be more careful in the future? Will they just say, okay, pump the brakes for a minute, let's figure out what's going on? Or will they still kind of fly off the handle, put random things out there that may or may not be true, but pass it off as truth? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.